Hello everyone, welcome back and welcome to viewers to some more Trailmakers. Today we're going to be building a helicopter with realistic collective, so you'll be able to go up and down and control it, which will make things a lot easier to fly a helicopter. So let's not waste any more time, let's just go ahead and jump in and let's get started. Okay, since you guys enjoyed the realistic trim and throttle airplane video, I figured we'd kind of do the same thing, but we'd do a helicopter this time and we'd work on actually making it have some collective, so you'd be able to control the up and down a little more than just, say, hitting spacebar. Again, we are dealing with PC issues, not controller issues. Controller has the ability to kind of throttle a little bit on the engines. Now, I think you still have to hold that throttle to get where you want to, but this is going to alleviate that. You can still use this for keyboard or controller, but this is going to give us a little bit more control over our engines. But we need to build a helicopter first. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a cockpit. I think we're going to use this one today. And we'll work off of that, I think. All right, so let's get it let's build a body for it real quick. We'll come in here. Let's find some rounded pieces. I think these will work right here for the bottom, right? Flip that over like that. I think that looks pretty good. We can make this a little longer, something like that. And then we'll copy this to the top. Okay, there we go. Got sort of a body for a helicopter. It's already looking like a specific helicopter to me, and that is the Huey. But I think that's what we'll end up kind of building today. So let's kind of focus on maybe that as a shape. Let's see, we're gonna need some shape here. And we can copy these. Go up, copy up, copy up, and that should give us the height that we need here. I think we'll put another piece like right here, and then I'm gonna fill this out. Okay, there we go. I've got some I got some wedges here too as well. I think that looks really good. So what we're gonna need is a helicopter engine here, and I believe the helicopter motor is somewhere back here on the Huey. So we can actually come in here and we'll do some blocks like this that'll kind of simulate that little back zone they have there. That, like that. That looks pretty good. Maybe we can put some doors on this as well. That'd be kind of nice. There's a little bit of zone here behind the cockpit. Like that. And that gives us a nice little shell of a helicopter here. Okay, so what we want to do is, let's go ahead and grab some pipes. Let's start making this look like a helicopter. Where are we at? These little those are big. Nope. We'll get these guys here. So for this one, the helicopter blades sit really high up. So let's go get our engine here. We need an engine. Where is our helicopter engine? All right, it's under mechanic, even though it's some sort of propulsion. All right. So we're gonna put our helicopter engine on top. Let's go get our props here. We're gonna use the long ones. I'm actually gonna rotate these like this so we can see exactly where our tail needs to go. And it looks like it needs to go a little bit further back. So I think our tail, we're actually going to use this part here. Maybe like right there. So this will go. And then we'll just extend this and this. And that should be okay. We put a little wedge here. That looks okay. That looks okay. I think that looks good. All right. So now let's come up here. We're going to do another wedge here. And we're going to come in here and we're going to put another prop here. And now we have a helicopter. So I'm gonna go ahead and change these up here real quick. I want this to be, we're just gonna use spacebar and left control for this one first. And then on these guys, we're gonna do A and D. And hopefully that that gets us turning the right direction. Let's see. Okay, we got good that way. I'm already seeing a problem here is we don't have any kind of gyros, so we're just gonna flip over and that's causing problems. So we are gonna have a gyro in here just for some stabilization. That's okay. We'll go ahead and put one right here, and that should solve our rollover issues. Maybe we'll go to 3 on that. Let's see how that does. I'm not worried about the spin right now. I just want to worry about the rolling over. All right, perfect. Perfect. All right, let's get back down. And now we got to fix this rotation problem. Now, generally, what would happen is the tail prop would be constantly spinning, and you would have a type of collective on the tail, and those props would change and shift direction, allowing rotation back and forth without having to stop the actual engine. Now that happens not be the case here in Trailmakers. The engine has to stop and change rotation for this to work, so we have a little bit of a timing issue. I've tested this out with speed sensors and a whole lot of other things and just can't really get a way to get this to work right. I know a lot of other people have issues with this. So here's how we're going to solve this today. To get rid of this roll, what we're going to do is actually come in here, delete this block here. Actually, we're going to delete the other one. Let's delete this one. You guys can see, we're going to delete that one so there's nothing connected here. We're going to select the helicopter engine here. We're going to look underneath and we're going to copy it so we have another one, but it's facing the opposite direction. So what's going to happen is as we spin up, they're both going to spin. Now there is a little bit of difference there, but you can see we already have a little bit more control over this. So we might need to speed that engine up a little bit. Let's try speeding this. And this is just where you had to get in and you're going to have to tweak and figure out things. But if we do 6 on this, is that going to be too much engine for us? Okay, so that's too much turn that way. Okay, so let's do 5.5. 5.5, fix it. Getting better. It's getting better. Okay, so let's get back to 5.25 maybe. Just trying to get that spin out of it. Okay, it's there a little bit, but we have control, which is really nice. So it's got a little bit of spin. We can keep tweaking that, but we have the ability to use our tail prop as our actual controls now. Ooh, okay. We do maybe need a little bit more stabilization in this thing. Come on down. But my goal is to not use any gyros to actually steer this thing. So we'll use some for stabilization. That's fine. Put those like that. Those should be good. What are those turned up to? 3. That should be okay. Everything else looks all right. Still had a little bit on it. So let's go to maybe 5.15. See if that fixes it. If not, we'll just might be going back down to 5. All right, so it's going back the other way. Okay, so maybe 5.2. I don't think it'll ever get perfect, but we can get close to where we're not just constantly spinning around. And then that'll be our goal. Oh, there you go. 5.2 looks like it's pretty good. Nice. Okay, yeah, so we've got some controls here. Now, I don't have any ability to control this now other than our yaw. So let's take it back down and let's see if we can get some controls on the top part here. It's smooth, though. We're just gliding down. Okay. So what I want to do now is give us some controls here on the actual props here, because the props actually have the ability to rotate as well for a helicopter. So what we can do is we can come in here. Let's get rid of these. We'll get rid of our forces because they're in the way right now. Let's go over to mechanic. We're going to grab our large hinges and we want green forward, copy that. And then these are going to be pitch. So we want W and S for these. And then I'm going to copy these upwards. We're going to rotate them. And we're going to change these to our roll controls. I think you guys like Q and E a lot, so we'll do Q and E for those. And I don't think we need 30 on this. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what it does. But now the other thing is adding these hinges has now negated the helicopter engine that we have underneath. So when I start spooling up, we should start spinning again because it considers it a whole nother separate body. Yep. So to solve that, we just go in and we'll delete this engine. And that will allow us to put these parts back. We can put a block right back in there. All right, so we can fill that in, and then we'll fill this other spot in right here that we deleted. Now we should have perfect flight because of those hinges. Yeah, perfect. We got a little bit of turn. It's the same kind of thing that we're getting before, but it's still quite stable. And all right, yep. I'm already seeing problems here. Okay, so we can't have such huge pitch on that prop. Let's come in and change that. So I think we'll take this down to, say, 15. Try that. And before we take off, let's see if that hits anything. Comes very close to that. So let's take it back to maybe go to like 12. And then what about our roll? Roll's backwards. Okay, so we need to fix that. All right, we can just rotate those. That should work. Okay, so let's see. That tilts it left, that tilts it right. We've got forward tilt, yes, and we've got reverse tilt. All right, so let's see if this works. We're gonna spool up. We're gonna get some pitch forward. Ooh, I think we're clipping into the front of the helicopter here. So we gotta go back some more. All right, so let's take that back to 10. And here's the other thing that I wanna do before we get any further. I'm gonna take this little block off here and we're gonna get some logic. That was kind of the whole point of this video here, is to be using the accumulator to actually control our collective. So let's come in here. We're going to do our settings again. We want a minimum of 0, maximum of 1. Our scale is going to be 0.01. And we're going to use step. And for collective, I want up and down on the arrow keys, because that works good for me. You guys can do whatever you want. You can do space, left shift, left control, whatever. I just like arrow keys. So now, whoops, let's come back in here. Let's make sure that this is connected to that, and that this is not connected to that. Now we got no space, left shift. Okay, so now it should be incrementally going up here. As you can see, we're starting, and the props are slowly starting to rotate here. We might have to change the increments here. Yeah, let's jump in. It's a little slow here. We could probably start our minimum at 0.5. Let's try that. Props do turn, but we don't have any lift, which is fine, so we don't have to worry about actually taking off from this position. All right, let's give it a little bit more throttle, and it should be going up now, and we'll get to the point where we just do start to take off. Look at it, we're taking off, and we've got a little bit of rotation due to drag on the wings. I think this is caused by drag, not by actual rotation now, because there is drag. We're literally throwing these blades into the air, which is causing this rotation here. But we've got complete control over it. So look at this. We got left and right yaw, which is awesome. Okay, we've got that. Let's see. We got forward pitch. Can do that. We might have to put a gyro in here just to allow us to pitch forward a little bit with that. But that does work. Okay, let's get some air. Get some altitude. Come on. Doing good here. We're doing good. Okay, let's get some right and left roll. We need more. Oh, those are really pitching over. Those are really pitching over. Okay, let's go back down. Go back down. Let's go back down. Nice and easy. Look at that. Nice and easy. All right, so these were too much. Let's take these to 15 maybe. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Hopefully that won't cause some problems. And I should be able to pitch forward and do that as well. Ooh, okay. Yep. And then there's another little clipping. All right, so let's come in here and fix that. Again, this is all things that you have to test to find out what's going on. We're just going to take this to 10. We might have to put some gyros in it just to accommodate this little bit of an issue here, but I think we're okay. So let's get up in the air. And that's taking way too long. So we're going to come up to this. Change this to 0.1. Is that better? Okay. It's better, but it's a little too fast because we won't have a hover point. So we'll do 0.05. That should be half of what we did. Should still move a little bit. There we go. You can see in the back, we've got our collective visually there. And we can take off and slightly move forward. I'm not sure what this lean is that we have going on here, but maybe we strengthen up this gyro inside a little bit and see if we can mitigate that. All right, so let's get this gyro. These are fine. Not those. It's this one here. Fix them to 5 maybe. See if that works. Give it some collective. Nice slow takeoff. And I think that fixed it. Yeah, there we go. We might have to adjust this accumulator a little bit. I think the 0.5 is not enough because we don't have an actual hover point here. We might be going back down to that 0.1, that 0.1. So let's do that. It might take a little longer to get off the air, but it'll be a little bit more realistic. So we're going to go back down to... Oh, it didn't go to... It never went to... Oh, I did the wrong thing here. Okay, hang on. 0.5, and then scale should be 0.5. Okay, let's see if that works. I want to find the spot where we just can hover here. I think... Yeah, we're going to have to go back down to the O1s. That's fine. It'll be a little slower, but that's all right. We'll have a lot more control. There we go. Now we should get to a point where we can actually hover pretty well. So there's lift. Okay, we'll go back down with it a little bit more here. And we have stable flight. There you go. With a little bit of adjustments on the tail here, we can do our yaw. We can rotate. Which is nice. We've got a little bit of strafing with rotation there. And we can move forward if I hit the right keys. There we go. And of course, you have to give it more power when you're leaning forward because you're going to drop out of the sky, but it does work. Very cool. If we want this to be a little more realistic, we could throw some gyros in this and kind of get those leans that we were looking for. But the purpose of this video was to show you that you could get actual collective out of an accumulator, and you could actually set some controls for these things. So you don't have to worry about speed sensors pointing down, going into other logic gates to control your hover, and then where you hit another button to negate those logic gates. This all works with one logic block, the accumulator block. This block is a game changer for this game. I've used this block on so many different things now. With this principle, you can even use this on the balloons and thrusters, and you can get that same effect with thrusters if you're trying to make some sort of like space VTOL. So maybe we'll do that in another video if you guys want to see that, but the purpose of this was to really just kind of get a nice looking helicopter for you guys, and so you could understand how to build this without having to do a coaxial style helicopter. Now that I've done this though, I do like the shape of this. I'm going to spend a few minutes working on this and making this look good because I can't leave it like this, right? So yeah, let me do that, and then we'll be back with you guys in a few minutes, and then we'll we'll see what we got. All right, it's been a few minutes, and I have put some paint on this thing. As you can see, it is a lot better looking. It actually looks like a Huey. Got a bunch of decals on it, got the paint. Got the little spokey things that stick off the props up there. I did have to, I don't know if you guys can see it, there are an extra helicopter blades in here. There's some shorter ones in there that I've painted with glass, just because once I started putting all the armor plates and stuff on it, it just really did not want to lift, and this engine back here just really got heavy. But as you can see, I feel like it really does look like a Huey. Let's get this thing in the air. Let's get our little gunners here something to do. As you can see, it flies nice and stable. We've got forward flight. I did put some gyros in it to just make it lean a little bit more and to make it a little bit more realistic, but I actually love this thing. It is so fun to fly. Oop, let's get it back in the air, get some altitude for it. But if any bad guys come across, our door gunners can take care of that, which is super awesome. Just a fun little build, I think. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you throw a like on this video. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. There'll probably be more videos like this, as well as some multiplayers. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, and we will see you in the next one.